suspect, probably armed suspect. And there we go. Doors are open. Ditching the car. Out here, yes. Oh,
the roads are wider.
But, you know, you're going 80 miles an hour. Anything could happen. Nobody's going to be pulling out of an intersection, looking down there. You see a car coming. You're not thinking that guy's going 80, and you might think, oh, I'm clear, and pull out right in front of this guy. Right now, law enforcement, difficult for them to stay behind it because of the high speeds and, of course, those close calls. But the helicopter from the LA Sheriff's Department still here with it, making calls, telling the guys on the ground what's going on and where this car is. Yep. That's right. Well, right now we've made our way back onto the 55 South, and this is generally the area where we just picked it up. We came live. This is where he was. 55, if you don't know, ends on Newport Boulevard down here, and basically he's getting back into that same thick traffic. This was a spot where the sheriffs were thinking they might be able to maybe do something to bring this to a stop, but again, you can see those deputies have to fall back a little bit. That vehicle continues to move on. That helicopter, that's the one connection to law enforcement on the ground right now. That officer in that helicopter, excuse me, that deputy, they like to be called deputies because that's what they are. Those deputies inside that helicopter, they're going to keep an eye on it. They're calling out the streets. We're listening to what they're saying, and they're trying to coordinate. Now, is the local law enforcement going to get involved? You know, there's a good possibility that might happen, even if they, you know, they don't, especially if they don't see any other law enforcement on the ground. I'm sure they have a way to listen in. Hopefully they are, so they're keeping a tabs on where this pursuit is in their area. So it's going to be interesting to see when this comes to an end, how they take this person into custody, making his way back into another mall. That, I'm sorry, Marla and Bobby, that's one of the concerns. That's guy just basically running out of his way. That is one of the concerns that I was thinking about. There's a lot of shopping down here. And if he makes his way into a large shopping center, we've seen it in the past, they dump the car in the parking garage and they run and try to blend into what's going on at a mall. He didn't do it that time, but he's driven by a couple of large, you know, he drove by South Coast Plaza earlier on. Right now, looks like he's trying to just blend in a little bit, but those high speeds and those maneuvers and that helicopter, he's going to call him out every time. Cool, thank you. Yeah. He's blending in. Oh, so, yeah. Bobby, I can answer that question for you. We know that there's somebody in the passenger seat as well. When the driver's door was opening, the passenger door was opening as well. Might not have been able to see that, but in this helicopter, my monitor is very good, and he definitely has two people, at least two people inside that vehicle, the driver, at least one passenger. It seems like he's slowing down a little bit. Now, don't know if this is like the adrenaline's wearing off for that driver, or possibly he's thinking that maybe he's not being followed anymore. But as soon as I say that, making a hard turn right there, it does seem like he picks these parking lots, and that's kind of interesting because there you go. This is right what I was trying to explain was, you know, every time he seems to pick a parking lot, it seems like he's able, up there he goes on the sidewalk right there, cutting across, wrong side of the road. You know, he always finds a way out, and then he found a way out that way. And apparently here comes they're re-engaging right now, meaning those black and whites on the ground. They're basically going to be lights and sirens trying to catch back up to him. So you're probably going to see some of those speeds pick back up again. Is this good? Is this bad? The only thing I can say is that at least the lights and sirens from the law enforcement will give the public heads up that something's going on. But the way this guy is driving, those high speeds, those quick maneuvers, those crosses and against other vehicles, and the red light running, that's just every time he gets through one of those major intersections down here and running a red light, I tell you, my blood runs cold. We did see it was a very tight shot, but it did seem like there he goes again, going back into a parking lot. I don't know if this isn't, you know, if he knows the area this well, where he knows that there's a way to sneak out, because there you go. He basically, how did he know that? Whoop, right and right. Oh, almost.
It might not be their pursuit,
but believe me, if that suspect would have bumped into that car, then everything, all bets are off. Those officers are going to do what they can to bring this guy into custody. Again, right now, 60 miles an hour. Busy afternoon out here, beautiful day, running red lights through major intersections. It is just a recipe for disaster. Marla, that part, that's a little, you know, that's for our assignment desk. We picked it up. We got the notification. We were starting up for the noon show. We got the notification from our desk saying, "Oh, this looks like it might be over." Maybe not. That was kind of weird. Maybe he's just trying to park it. But yeah, the only thing we know is armed suspect pursuit, wanted for a car-to-car shooting. It almost looks like, I hope he's not playing, just, you know, taunting those officers or those deputies down there, because it's a cul-de-sac, so this is a dead end. So we'll see what happens right there. Of course, possibly armed suspect, probably armed suspect. And there we go. Doors are open. Ditching the car. Oh, this isn't good. Justin is telling me that he might have something inside his hand. Look at that. Look at that. Just the way he was running right there, jumping up on the hood, making this run. It does definitely look like he has something in his hand. You know, is it a cell phone? Is it a weapon? This is what officers have to deal with. And why would you take it with you? That was for him. You know, this is the way these end in such poor ways. I'm just, you know, just be careful, Justin, right now, because that definitely looks like a gun. And if the officers show up, they are not going to be. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Oh, don't tell me he's. Is this a campus? Frickin' A. Yeah. Yeah, the passengers seem to be kind of stagnant at the car. The driver running now looks like he's making his way. He's going out to the car park. We're working with Adam at Artiller today. He hasn't taken cover anywhere, but this is something dangerous. No. Oh, you can see that guy. He's like, yeah, I got nothing to do with it. Take my car. Yeah, and you know, and you got to wonder, is there keys in it? You know, so, and it looks like we're at a school. That definitely looks like a play area. He's out of the car, Justin. He's out of the car. He's running again. Out of the car, running again, coming to. Up. Okay, something's going on. Law enforcement's got to be somewhere right around the corner. Oh, thank goodness. But again, this guy not in custody. And you can clearly see where these officers are at. They are going to approach with caution. And again, you know, we saw it. This guy definitely had something that clearly looked like a weapon. And this is what officers deal with more often than we ever even see in the news. And, you know, is it a gun? Is it a phone? Is it a real gun? All those things, you know, and you have to make those decisions in a split second. And you can see the officers basically taking cover around that car he tried to take and making his way. You know, they are going to approach with caution. There is no doubt. And we're going to play the safe side, maybe push into the officers, Justin, for right now, and see how they take this guy into custody. But super tense moments, huh, guys? Yeah. Yeah. Just take a peek, Justin. Be careful. Just take. I'm sorry. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. There they go. There they are. Sorry about that. We had to reposition Skyfox. We couldn't see him when he laid down there on the ground from our position. By that suspect on just the things that were going on this afternoon. But definitely coming to an end. Thankfully, no civilians hurt that we have seen during this chase. No officers hurt as well. But it does look like multiple agencies out here just from the different uniforms. But that suspect in custody, and Bobby and Marla, we will get the exact location where this is as soon as we see this guy is into custody and we can move the camera around a little more freely. Yes. Sure thing. I thought you were on vacation. Man, that was crazy.